So what are you doing April 4th through 11th? You want to join me in Yucatan, Mexico? Two of my good friends, Fede and Jonathan, we're going to talk about a interesting location on the planet that we're going to be going to in a couple of weeks here, and it is Yucatan, Mexico. We're taking a group of people down there to do something a little bit non-traditional from your average workshop. So I wanted to bring these guys on TWiP to kind of talk about what we're going to be doing in that region and what makes this workshop different from all the other ones out there that people have to choose from. So Jonathan and Fede, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. So Fede, let's start with you, man. So let's get a little background on you. So we're leading this expedition, this Indiana Jones type adventure in the in Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula. So tell me about it. What about you makes you want to lead an adventure like this? Tell me about your background a little bit.
So I came into the state a long time ago on a music scholarship, studied music, started composing music for a living. And then from there, I don't know how, I drifted into IT and building infrastructure for a photography agency, basically. Do all the IT infrastructure. I wrote the software that a big agency uses to manage the business. That bought me a little bit of independence, and I started traveling extensively. My girlfriend is from Mexico, so we started spending more and more time every year. And lately, both Jonathan and I are almost completely location independent, so we don't like New York winters or Philadelphia winters, and we just moved to Mexico. So I've been spending several months there over the years and fell in love with the place and started literally with my camera and my girlfriend, just grabbing a car and driving around and seeing what was available to us to shoot.
And now we're gonna do that with a bunch of other people. So that's gonna be exciting. Jonathan, what about you, man? What's your background in this whole thing? I know you have an education background, a cinematography background. What do you bring to the mix?
I taught high school English for 7 years, and at the same time I was developing a wedding photography company, and this was back in 2000. So I was witness to the birth of digital. And kept up with the changes as the years went by. Then, got my hands on a 5D Mark II and realized if you press this little button, it turns into cinematography, which completely changed my life and changed the way I thought about what can happen with these tiny little cameras. So I've been running Studio 9, which is the wedding photo and video company it's been almost 15, 16 years now. I'm also doing a production company as well, and we make short films about sustainable things that are happening in Philadelphia and around the world. So telling stories is what I do, and using the camera to help tell that story, whether it's a still image or if it's video, it's sort of what I'm born to do.
Love it, love it. And again, we're going to bring that aspect down to Mexico as well. So let's talk about this adventure that you guys are putting together. So you formed a company called Top Travel Spot, right? So, but like I said in the intro, there, it's doing something a little bit different than the other travel workshop providers are doing. Why don't you guys tell me about that, Fede? What's different about TTS or Top Travel Spot than the other guys are doing?
The specifics, I would say, I wanted to recreate with Jonathan the way we're used to travel together, both with our girlfriends, wives, the kind of like not too structured thing where you pick up a car and start going here and there. And we could never figure out a way to do it until I found some locals, basically a local organization that would allow us to structure a trip the way we would do it if we had been just the four of us traveling with our girlfriends and wives, basically. Mm-hmm. So in this case, we're going to stay in a beautiful house with a resident chef that's going to cook for us every day. And then from there, we're going to have day trips to completely different locations. I wanted to have like a broad range. I'm kind of like a generalist. I'm not somebody who's doing only some kind of photography. I really love to jump from wildlife to landscape to street photography, everything. And this type of trip gives you the opportunity each day to try something different.
Yeah, and you're a lot like me. In fact, I think you're one of the main reasons why I bought that DJI Osmo camera because we have to have the latest toy to play with, and of course I'm bringing that down to Mexico with me. Jonathan, what about you, man? So what, from your perspective, what makes Top Travel Spot different from other workshops out there? What are you guys aiming to do that's different?
Yeah, I think primarily authentic experiences. We've all seen a group of tourists, tromping from point A to point B, sticking camera, on face the entire time. It's all about experiential design, designing
Yeah.
an amazing experience. I mean, just listing them off, luxury accommodations, haciendas, cenotes, pyramids, ruins, historic districts, incredible food, culture, free time so you can explore, and all taught from a perspective of teaching you how to see. For me, I first teach without a camera. What do you see when you see the scene? Where's the light? What are the lines? What compositional things are we going to talk about? I'd rather not delve into too much, technical specifics, but let's just talk about being in the sacred spot, being present here, and really diving into, what makes an image and what makes it so special. And that passion is really the most important thing. When I watch Fede work, when there's a beautiful sunset or whatever, the guy is just fired up and he's so passionate about recording imagery. And that's really the most important thing. You don't have to go anywhere to feel passionate about photography, but coming here to Mexico, it is such a place of color and light, and the people are amazing and beautiful. And my wife and I come here every year. It's been 8 years, and we spend 2 to 3 months here every winter because we love the culture and we love everything about it.
And that's also that magic of being location independent too, right? You can do stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've worked very hard to get to that point. Running a photography studio, my wife and I, we both do weddings, and we have 2 to 3 months where we lay low and recharge and get excited again about coming home. And we love Mexican food and tequila. So
Hey, you have me at food. So and tequila. Yeah, so with that, so Jonathan, give me a kind of a day in the life, like for this workshop. And I don't even know if like workshop sounds almost like the wrong way to kind of describe it, because it's not work, right? This is a play shop kind of. So how do you like, if from waking up in the morning to going to sleep that night, what's going to happen?
Yeah, we'll call it a fun shop instead of a workshop.
There you go.
Better connotation. We're going to wake up pretty early because we want to catch the day and catch the best light. So we'll wake up early, grab some delicious homemade food from our chef who lives in the space with us, which is amazing. And then we want to set our minds for what we're going to capture today. So, maybe, today we're going to talk about contrast. We're going to contrast between light and dark, between different colors, maybe between big and small. Compositionally, maybe we'll go over a couple images that'll set our mind for what we want to go out and accomplish. And of course, just shoot everything and have fun doing it. But primarily, I like to focus the day so that way, you're not just kind of just shooting anything and everything, but you're looking and you're learning to see wherever you look, which is kind of the Picasso quote, which drives my whole existence, which is not just looking at stuff, but finding something wherever you do look, finding the amazing in the mundane. So having that focus, it's better than just having no focus. I'm just wandering around. And focus is one of the main ideas of photography. I am focusing your eye to this image. I'm cropping out the entire universe except what's in this tiny little box. Yeah. And that's the goal of becoming a photographer is learning to see.
And I think you hit it right on the head, because that's one of the hard parts too, is overwhelm, because we're all gear nuts, right? We get excited about the gear and we build this amazing kit of that can capture anything that's thrown at us. But then when we get out, and then when I say we, I'm saying me. When you get out, there's overwhelm, because there's like, okay, I'm in San Francisco and there's so much to shoot in San Francisco, so you end up being a little bit more mundane about what you're shooting and a little bit or a lot bit overwhelmed. And I like the idea of focusing down with some guidance on one thing. It's almost like a personal trainer, right? Today we're going to work abs, and you work abs when you could be working everything, but you're going to focus on abs and how to do those correctly, and then you move on to another body part. So, yeah, I think that makes a whole lot of sense. Fede, what about you? From your perspective, day in the life in this workshop, what do you see happening?
I think each day is going to present different opportunities. So no matter what the theme of the day could be, there's some days where it's going to be more street photography, but with a backdrop of beautiful colonial cities and like ancient culture and things like that. Other days are going to be more like the kind of Indiana Jones pyramids in the middle of the jungle. To me, coming from Italy, I remember the day I landed in Mexico in that specific area, I felt like, oh my God, this is the stuff I've been seeing in movies since I was a kid. So the adventure mind goes crazy in that place because it's like centuries of history mixed with their nature, which is really, really powerful over there. Other days will be on like small boats visiting a biosphere where animals are protected. We're going to visit Rio Lagartos, which is like, I think, one of the biggest bird sanctuaries in the world. I think over like 500 species of birds live in a very tiny spot. So we'll have the opportunity to fine-tune our like wildlife photography skills. So if somebody wants to play with like long lenses or not and see what you can come up with, it's going to be the ideal day to do that.
Love it.
Other days are going to be more like, what the four of us will do, our girls, just hang out by a beautiful sinkhole in the middle of the jungle. But the kick is like, the organization is going to bring us like a nice picnic so we can basically eat in a beautiful settings and maybe swim in a cenote afterward and take pictures of that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I want to go right now. Can we just go right now? You're going there tomorrow, right? Are you flying out tomorrow?
Jonathan is already around there, so.
Oh, yeah, you guys are killing me. And I'm hungry. All this talk about food is killing me. All right, guys. Well, this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. We are just a little bit of details about it. So I'm joining you guys. The trip itself is April 4th through 11th, 2016. The pricing and all those details are on the page, but I think you guys have set the price at just under, what is it, $29.95, right? So $29.95, which is well below most other workshops, but the value that you guys are providing is in some ways way above other workshops. So, you want to, Jonathan, you want to explain some of the reasonings behind having the price so low right now? Because I don't want people to get the impression that the low price of this workshop somehow equals low quality when it's quite the opposite. Can you describe that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. This is our launch. This is our launch of our brand and launch of our company that is a dream for Fede and I, and we're going to do this for the rest of our lives. So we want to do things differently. We want the accommodations to be top rate. So yes, we could keep the price as it is and send you to a unpleasant kind of a place that's not very comfortable. This place where we're staying is luxury. It's gorgeous. It's got a pool. It's like a dream. I mean, it's yellow, and the food is amazing. So it's the accommodations are amazing, and you're getting basically 3 teachers, myself, Fede, and you. So you'll get tons of one-on-one time. And for me, once you're my student, you're always my student. So for the rest of your life, if you have a question you want to ask me about whatever it is you want to do, our door is always open. And that's the kind of relationships we're looking to build. We don't want to have 40 people in a workshop. We want to keep it small, keep it focused, and really focus on quality and really quality experiences. We could just go to the same old thing that everyone does in Mexico, but with our connections here in Mexico, we've been coming both here for so long, and Chloe, Fede's girlfriend, has deep connections here in Mexico. You're going to see things that you just can't see any other way, like Chichen Itza after hours. So everyone's gone, and here we are in this incredible archaeological space, and just us, and with a guide. So that opportunity just doesn't happen because that place is a mob scene. There's thousands and thousands of people.
I love it.
So it's that opportunity that I think is just kind of once in a lifetime.
And how many people are going to be in this house that we're staying in?
The total, about 8 guests, and then there'll be 3 of us. So there'll be about 11 total.
And then the most important person there, the chef. So make sure that he's well taken care of. He or she is well taken care of.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a she, and she's going to come very early in the morning. I don't think she might live next door. I don't think she's actually staying in the house, but she's there all the time. The staff that's going to take care of cleaning and everything else. So it's going to be very luxurious in that sense.
Yeah, the great thing is coming back to the same house every night. You can kind of leave your stuff. You're not schlepping big bags every other day, which can be exhausting. We do that here. We have a home base, and then like we're going to do next week, we're going to Yucatan. We're going to go to different spots. We'll come back to our home base, and it just feels nice to not have to drag everything every couple of days. So it will be a relaxing trip. It'll be busy and intense, but you're not going to come home so exhausted that you're going to need a vacation from your vacation.
Exactly.
Love it. And we'll be ferried around with buses and that kind of feel, or what's the transportation situation like? It's
going to be a van, most likely, just a van that is big enough for all of us together, but it's not going to be a huge bus or anything like that.
Good.
And also with the driver, I think we have some flexibility where if we want to do some of this destination in different orders because that particular day, the weather or the light dictates changes, we can totally do that. It's not written in stone, basically.
Love it. So this trip is was it $2,995, $2,995, and that's for 7 days in Mexico, full accommodations. Most of the food. There's some days where people will be able to fend for themselves, but for the most part, all that stuff is covered. You just have to get yourself to Cancun, right? And then you guys come pick everybody up from Cancun, and then that's it. But there's a special piece of this for the TWiP Army. You guys have decided to drop the price a little bit for my people. Tell me about that, Jonathan. What's the TWiP Army price?
For the low price of $24.95. So we'll knock off $500 for the TWiP Army. We love TWiP. It's such a great resource for all sorts of information. So I want to keep it in the family and fill this whole house with TWiP people. That'd be amazing. So $24.95 is the price.
I love that. $500. That's huge. Thank you. I appreciate you doing that. And I'm going to be there too. So if you're in the TWiP Army, come hang out with me for a week. And, we may even do an episode of TWiP from down there. I think we may have to, since it's called This Week in Photography. I'm going to be there for a whole week, right?
Bandwidth permitting. I don't know.
Right. We have to record it and then bring it back with me.
Exactly. Yeah, we could do that. Because we definitely have Wi-Fi in the house, but Mexico, you never know how.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this. This is great. I'm excited to be going along, and I'm excited to share this with the TWiP Army. Folks, you can go and sign up for this workshop. Just head over to twip.pro/Mexico. That's twip.pro/Mexico, or thisweekinphoto.com/Mexico. And it'll take you to a page that has all the details. You can sign up and get in there. And again, remember, there's only 8 slots available for this, and the regular price to people that haven't heard this interview is $29.95, but for TWiP listeners, I'm gonna look at my note, it's $24.95, so $500 off that main price just because you watched this video. And again, only 8 slots are available, so definitely head over there now. Guys, thank you for coming on. I'm gonna link to both of your pages from the blog post that this is embedded in. So if people want to learn more about you and reach out to you, they can do that. I'll also put an email link on this post too. So if they want to ask you a question about this workshop, they can just click that and send an email directly, and you guys will get back to them like really, really fast, right? So that's it. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Roger.
All right. See you later.
Adios.
Okay, once again, that trip is happening April 4th through 11th. It's $29.99. The regular price is $29.99, but for TWiP members, the guys are knocking a full $500 off the price. If you use the code TWiP Yucatan, that brings the price down to $24.99. You can get all the information you need. Just head over to twip.pro/Mexico. That's twip.pro/Mexico.